day 2, 30th of March. Nothing worked out. The day started off incorrectly as one of our travel members took their time and dragged on for 45 minutes longer than planned. Initially, we wanted to see the hidden shrine, but because of the delay and partly because we had no clue as to where to take the bus we intended, we scrapped that location and moved on to the next. We went to the Imperial Palace, where we took the subway using our Kansai pass. The exit we took was right out of the palace walls, but it took us around 5 minutes of walking to reach the gates and telegrounds. There we found one of the living quarters that is open to the public free of charge, and the place exhibited some of the palace's history. Shortly after this location, we walked out to where there was a large cherry blossom in full bloom. A number of people were taking pictures of and with it, but generally you could get a clear shot if you waited long enough. We then passed a small shrine which was pretty quiet along a steady flow of people on the main path, and finally reached the actual palace. But it's closed and you cannot enter it. Lots of people come to the palace park to spend at least half a day and enjoy the slow pace, so the walks aren't really an issue. But if you're in a rush, the walks put a drain on you if you plan on visiting several places within the day. By now, we're starting to get hungry, and the walk to the nearest civilization took us around 10 minutes. Although not what we had in mind, we ended up at Moss Burgers, which to our surprise tasted better than the ones we had in Hong Kong. Next stop was the Nijo Castle. We took the subway using our Kansai Through Pass again, and according to the Kansai Through Passes app, we were able to get discounts for entry. But upon arrival, not only did we not get discounts, but it also had a price increase in relation to the information that was on the internet. In the end, we decided to scrap the visit to Nijo Castle as well, because it was already heavily crowded and because it was just our first day of exploration and I didn't want my finances to be disrupted for the rest of the trip. On our way back to the subway, we saw a Japanese sword shop which sold genuine Japanese swords. Not the tourist ones you'll see in later videos, but proper Japanese katanas and its surrounding accessories. Too bad they were pretty expensive and I had trouble figuring out how to get them back to my country, so that idea was pretty much scrapped immediately. We then headed to Nishiki Market, where you could shop, eat, walk until you drop, literally. The Nishiki Market is an extremely large shopping area and there are so many ways to arrive. We initially planned to arrive at Kyoto Kawaramachi Station, which should be the closest to the streets of Nishiki Market. But for some reason Google Maps decided it would be easier for us to get there by getting off at Karasuma Oike Station, which was a long walk from the main streets of the Nishiki Market. Our first stop was supposed to be B-side label, but with an overwhelming amount of things to see, a 10 minutes walk turned into more than half an hour. We saw gashapons, 100 yen stores, had toffee strawberries next to a shrine before we eventually made our way to B-side label store, where it was pretty packed with people. We bought a number of one-piece Godzilla and generally themed stickers before we sat down at a coffee shop. I went to a specialty store while my travel companions rested. The store I went to was a traditional arts and crafts store I found on the internet which sell these kintsugi starter kits. If you don't know what they are, I have a video I previously posted about the topic. I wasn't able to film the shop because it seemed kind of rude to film without asking and I was in a rush. But here is the kit I got. It comes with a broken cup to practice on, but I already have a few broken cups I wish to work on, so I'll show you all in future videos when trying to repair my cups with it. After that, we made our way to the Kyoto Pokemon Center. Our intentions were to buy a box of booster packs. If you don't know what these are there will be a few videos in the future talk about Pokemon TCGs and Pokemon as a whole. Anyways, to our surprise, the staff there said they were all sold out. The only things relating to TCGs there were starter packs, which are mainly made up of cards to allow you to start play. 60 cards that included energy cards and a number of low level cards to get you started, along with coins for battle moves. There were other things like card boxes to house your TGT cards and toys, but not what we came for. After a long day, we needed to have a nice meal, and we had yakitori as planned in a restaurant opposite to the Pokemon Center. The first proper Japanese meal we had since we set foot in Japan, to end the day before we headed back to our hotel via bus, which was actually not that hard, but don't expect you'll definitely get a seat because even during 8 PM, it's still pretty crowded. Want to check out our final day of exploration in Kyoto? You know what to do. Like, subscribe and turn on the notification.